Hi there, this is Rob Baard, the creator of the Ninja Universe, with the first director's commentary in the series, beginning with this episode, episode 4, Ninja Interlude. We actually pick up where the immovable heart left off with this scene with Danny Glover. Only this time we get to see who he's speaking to. The series is, well, we're following what Marvel and DC are doing with their franchises and creating feature films, TV series, comics and clothing and all sorts of different things here. This is actually the first spin-off film which focuses on some of the secondary characters from the Ninja Immovable Heart. So we've got Blaze Broadway, Jacob Fife and Jennifer Rose starring in this one, which is great because it gave me the chance this time to do a few more things like the editing, visual effects, music, sound effects, as well as the directing and producing. So already you can see we're going straight into the action, and it was really important that this film be an action film. It just gave me the chance to try all different techniques with GoPro cameras and some very fast editing and things I wanted to try in the Immovable Heart, but necessarily couldn't because of the topic. So we really get the chance to go in a linear time frame here, and as you can see we're right in the thick of it. Most of this was shot at the Eureka, which is a pub/nightclub in Geelong. It's got several different locations around. It's got different rooms. You can be in one room and it looks like you're in a sporting bar. Another room looks like you're in an upper class venue. So logistically, when you're making things like this, that's our first GoPro shot there. When you're making films like this, you really want to find a location because you're working with a zero to low budget. You want places and things that can make the production values raise up. So here we are introducing each person's character in the thick of the action, and we get the chance straight away to show who these characters are, what their attitudes are, reveal character through action. So it's a really fast-paced what's going on in this film. Blaze Broadway and her first fight scene. She's actually a Shodan, so first degree black belt in Bujinkan, so ninjutsu, and she's trained for about 5 or 6 years now. So we're introducing Natasha Lindry, who is a brand new character known as Kismet. There isn't much revealed about her character's connection here, but she's very significant in the Ninja universe itself. We're setting up this time around, and it's at this time that the Immovable Heart is actually just coming out overseas in the US. It's sold into 10, 11 countries, and for us it was 2 years ago since we made that film, so a lot has changed, a lot has developed, and a lot has moved on, which we really go more into, I guess, in the Immovable Heart director's commentary. It's around this time that fans are starting to realise that things have been set up in the other films, specifically in the Immovable Heart, that pay off and begin to pay off in this film and the next film to come, which is going to begin to get exciting because there's already fan talk of who characters are and where the story's going and what's going on. And it's always good to hear their theories on things. Sometimes it comes in from angles you didn't even think of or expect, which is great. So we've introduced the Nightingale, and we're going straight into the dilemma, which is being trapped in this room. So we've brought back Vivian, who plays Rachel, and she's been playing that character for her 3rd film now. It was great to really bring back some good, hard-working cast and crew. I kept it really short and small with around 10, 15 people on the crew here. And I think just so that we could manage things a bit quicker, we had 3 days to shoot this film. It was shot on, well, pretty much a zero budget apart from some small funds by myself. It felt like we were really wrapping up and moving into the next phase of what the Ninja is. We've got Ed here, Ed DeLister, who is a great comic actor, and he gives a really good performance in this. Again, it's all very fast-paced, and he's giving a lot of exposition, but it's done in a really interesting way. Ed actually filmed a teaser trailer for me of the Finance trailer back in 2007. So I've been working on these films for around about 9 years. Well, the concept for the franchise and everything that's going on. it's interesting to watch where it's come from and where it's going now, especially now we begin to incorporate things like Vision's psychic abilities, Majestic 12, the Nightingale, and other things which are really going to begin to pay off in those future films. Here's some guys that don't get enough credit. The action team, the guys that come in and dress up as SWAT for each films, or they're dressing up as ninjas for each films, or they're army guys, as you can see here. They take the hits. And, you know, without these guys doing what they do, things don't look believable. It doesn't move as smoothly on the day. They're such an important part, and, you know, you'll never hear them complain, and they're wearing the most, sometimes, hottest suits on the hottest days. This was a really hot day for us. Throughout this entire shoot, and they never complain once. So you can see we're going straight into the action. We've got GoPro cameras going here. There's visual effects going on. What was good about doing the editing, visual effects and music from a director's point of view was it really gave me control over how to best utilize the frame. During the action scenes, you'll see a lot of sparks and a lot of debris and things going around. And artistically, that comes back to wanting to fill the frame, you know, to its fullest extent, to really bring out the foreground and the background and the depth of field and things there. So again, as you can see, we're in another location now. We keep changing and moving to locations as this story is told on the run. That visual effect shot here, as you're seeing, of Jennifer Rose, the blonde actress there, is actually a green screen. Again, when you're doing minimal budgets and shoot days and times, sometimes people aren't available for certain things, and you may have to go back and shoot their side of the scenes and things. So coming up here, we're introducing again 3 other characters from The Immovable Heart. This time we get to see a little bit more into, they're investigating a picture from Reeve in The Immovable Heart. And at the end of that feature film, we saw them get together and begin to discuss something. We don't know what that was, and it begins to get filled in here. So we see them working together. They've all entered this room and not knowing why or how. In a way, it's a bit universal and spiritual, and about coming through doors and ending up in the right place at the right time, or in the right dilemma at the right time with the right people around. So we're introducing Patient Zero and setting up the threat now. What was interesting was all these characters were filmed separately and on different days. Ed here is in front of a green screen. He's not speaking to any of these people. They're not reacting to Ed in the room. They're reacting to me reading the dialogue. And we've got an appearance now, special guest appearance from UK Mr. Paparazzi, Darren Lyons, who is the Mayor of Geelong at the moment, as it is 2015, doing this director's commentary. And he came in, he was a really good sport, and he's actually been one of our only supporters locally for what we're doing. He's jumped in and helped us out. He came to the premiere and supported us, and gave me some business advice and those sorts of things. He's been really approachable and just a big help when there hasn't been a great deal of help from people. So we're shooting all his dialogue separate. He's didn't have time to rehearse, so he would get there and we would run the lines together, shoot the piece of the scene that he's doing here. And I'm really proud of the performances in here. Again, these guys, they made my job easy. Adrian there isn't an actor at all. In fact, his background is army and working with the authorities. But he's amazing in this and is actually the second AD. What was important with this film was bringing on a good production management team. Chris Trait, who plays Maverick, the bald, red-eyed, bad ninja in the series. He's the first AD on this. Smiley, or Cypress, who is his partner in this film, is played by Charles Edgar, and he's the third AD on this. I know these are guys I've known for 20 plus years. They don't necessarily have a stake in wanting to be in the film industry. They just enjoy getting out there and having fun doing it. You know, and they're doing it to support me and helping me out with it. And you know what? Without these 3 guys, specifically Chris, Charlie, and Adrian, you know, this film wouldn't be as smooth and as good with the quality that it is. Adrian really set the pace for the crew, made things happen. He'd be running around, and you know, after The Immovable Heart, which we'll go into in that special features, I can't tell you enough the importance of having a production team, especially the management team, who are wanting to help you achieve the vision that you're wanting to achieve, with no egos and no intentions. So here we're catching up. What was interesting, you'll see in the background there's a sign that says Ninja. that was there. That's not set dressing by us. It was, we walked into the location and had a look and saw that, and it felt right that we shoot it there. Here we go again. Now we're in battle suits. What's different about this film and style is each film has a different style of fighting, and whether people know it or not, I'm exploring different methods of the schools. Here, the fighting style is more similar to kotoru, which is a tiger striking art, and it's a lot more straightforward and linear. The hits are hard. That shot there, I must touch on. It was done by Stuart, our DOP, with the GoPro camera. But yeah, so when we're looking at the fighting here, the styles are very different. I read somewhere that someone thought some of the fighting was slow in The Immovable Heart. It's not slow, it's shot wide. Bullet time shot there. Again, really wanting to just test different things and make it different in this one. But back to the fighting, it was shot wide. It was shot with less cuts and less edits. And for me, I really wanted to bring people into the action in this one, which is why we've got the GoPro cameras. I want them to feel like they're a part of it. Here, we are now setting up very significant things for the Ninja universe in regards to Majestic 12, which did various roles for the government in the US, beyond sometimes what people realise. But the visuals here, they're represented for a reason. The dialogue's specific for a reason. And as the saying in the series goes, it will all make sense at the right time. So we're introducing John Carpenter here. I really wish that we had more for Roger to do in this short film here. But the idea was that all of us from the main feature film, the main cast, would only be making a guest appearance. 440, another significant time slot. You'll see that show up throughout the entire Ninja universe. You'll even see devices in The Immovable Heart known as the GT440 device. Yeah, and interesting at this time, because as I said before, the fans are really starting to see that there is a plan here. And you've really got to pay attention. Less so in this one. With The Immovable Heart, it was crucial to get the idea and concept of Fudo Shinin, stripping away elements of your past. It was an origin film. It wasn't a martial arts film. It was an action superhero film, and more of a drama, to be honest. And now that's out of the way, we can go straight into it. So we were lucky enough in this film to... A friend of mine was making the Bat Pod, and as I said before, as a producer, putting your producer's hat on, you look for anything that can up the production value for your film. We had the Interceptor, the Mad Max Interceptor in the last film, and in this one we've got the Bat Pod. I like the idea of updating the suits and the vehicles and things to keep it interesting for the characters, or the people watching it, interesting for the characters. Where I was going with that is the character's suit. Reeve is actually himself wearing a lot more armour in this one. I like the dynamic between all of these characters. They work so well together. They look great on screen, and they're as much a team in real life and shooting these things on set than what they appear to be in the film. They work together so well, and again, I'm just so glad that we're able to use a great bunch of people like this and give them the chance to come back again. When you're shooting things like this, time is very scarce. We were shooting, this fight scene is taking place, for example, at midnight on the third and final day, on a very, very hot day. In fact, later on during the boat scenes, you'll see I'm sweating. Yeah, it's hot out there and we're doing a lot of work. The boat scene and this scene and the Batpod scene and the car chase were all shot on this same day. And I think that's often people forget or don't realise that you're doing these things very quickly with limited time, little rehearsal, and capturing what you can while on the move whilst being incredibly tired. These shots were taken care of with, you know, at different times. They're not looking at each other. And Aliante, who plays the torturer, same scenario as Roger Neve. I wish we could have put him in it for more. He's such a brilliant character, but you know what? he brings an even stronger presence to the time that he is in the film. Here we have some very significant visuals from The Immovable Heart and from this new one, which again will pay off in time to come. Everything has been set up for a very specific reason for the Ninja universe, and even the fact that we've now changed it to the Ninja universe. This scene is reminiscent of the last scene in the Ninja Prelude, which was with my character and another character, and he ends up handcuffed on the roof. It was fun to play with the dynamic this time of reversing that and him being the one that uses the handcuffs. I mean, this is a different character that he's playing off. It's not the same female cast member. Here he goes. But the idea that Reeve, the ninja, is selfless, you know, he may have a tough exterior, and if you look at the arc in his performance, and yes, believe it or not, there is an arc in the performance from Prelude to Infinite Ways to Immovable Heart to this one, you can see how much the character has aged and become battle damaged by the journeys that he's been on. This is probably the one piece that will cause controversy of what is it, what is the interlude, what happened, did they escape, did they not? But again, it's set up for the next journey to show you where they go. It's crucial to the Ninja universe. This dialogue here, again, was dialogue in the Prelude, which came up at the end, but in the short film, it was originally just text. So again, we're revisiting something that we explored in the first short film. For me, it was a lot of closure and homage to that first film, and just closing off that chapter to what this series is, and well, putting it into phase 2. And we're going to start going into overdrive. As you saw there was, after the first credit, the picture being taken off by the wall. Very significant to what's coming up. KELLIE was a brilliant makeup artist there. I was excited to be able to do some titles this time that would showcase these characters and really make them feel like they were part of a film, or feel like stars, and maybe as thanks for all their wonderful work in this. I mean, Jacob, Blaze, these guys really need to be seen. They've got such powerful performances, but they do a lot of work. They do a lot of research on their characters. They've got their backstories, and you know, Jacob was in training beforehand and going, you know, buying different accessories that would go with his costume to help him with his character, and you know, they give it 110%. And you know, if there's one thing that I could do, I would love to be able to help these guys go further through these films with their career as well. We've had a really good track record with these films. A few of the actors from the earlier ones have gone on to more things. They've done some TV, maybe they've done some ads, they've been in all sorts of different things. Vivian's done a few things in local TV as well, in Australian TV now, and I'm glad that, you know, not that this necessarily got her that, I'm sure it didn't, but you know, it's just good to be able to support these guys, help them get their profiles out there more. Sure, it also helps me a great deal with what I'm doing and everything else, but without the crew, without Stuart DOPing this one, without Ben being the camera assistant, and KELLIE with the makeup artist, and I've already mentioned the ADs before, Harris as well, Brian, who came back, he's been on 3 of these films now. They're the unseen people that do so much, and they put in so much effort for this. It's great to be able to carry over the people that do that. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching the director's commentary. I hope there was something there of value for you. I look forward to you, well, yeah, I look forward to shooting more of these for you, and hopefully they continue to keep you interested and give you something a little bit special. The magic for me often comes in rewatching these things and picking up on the little things that you may not have seen that first time that have been set up. So keep an eye out, and we'll see you soon. This is Rob Baard, creator of the Ninja Universe. Until next time.